Good everyone. So trading from New Zealand has its own challenges. I get up in the middle of the night to trade, so I get up around about 11:30 p.m. and trade through to around 3 a.m. in the morning. So that's roughly 7 a.m. market time to around 10 a.m. Market time. So I trade the pre-market session. So yesterday I had to drive up and down the country. I spent about 10 hours driving yesterday. Got home, I was pretty tired, and I didn't get a very good sleep before getting up to trade. So I ended up sleeping in, and I missed the first hour of the pre-market session from around 7 to 8, and I felt behind when I sat down to trade. I felt like I'd already missed some good moves. I missed ADTX, popping up around 7 a.m. from $10.50 to around $12. So, that was, wasn't a good start to the night. And I felt tired. It was a big day yesterday. So when I started trading, I really tried to focus on not trying to rush into a trade or not trying to rush my trades, but waiting for good entries. And I did lock in another green day, which is great. It was tough work though, and I made a couple of mistakes. But some days, you just got to grind it out. You just got to stick with it. And today just was one of those days. So let's break down the trades, and if I can hit the right keys. Yeah, so I traded ADTX and I took one trade on WINT. So, 6 trades in all, 5 green, 1 red. Good accuracy, 83.3%, and good risk reward, 1.98. So I walked away with $126.02 in profit today. So good profit anyway today. So I did pretty well considering I was tired, and I felt it was a bit of hard work to do that. So we'll have a look at ADTX here. I'll just bring out the chart first because this is what I missed. So around 7 a.m. here, you can see that it's breaking up through this level here around 7, around $10.50. And it pushed all the way to $11.50 and then pulled back and then pushed again to $12.16. So missed all of that. I was still in bed asleep. I didn't get to see it until it had pulled back basically below the VWAP. So if I bring up the video here, actually I'll bring that up here. So this is kind of where I first saw it, just coming into this area through here. I've drawn some technical lines on the chart, some trend lines, but it sort of come down through here, it broken back up and had a small break through the VWAP and rejected off the VWAP and was pulling back down. So if I play the video from here, we'll see that I'll start to look for taking an entry here. I'm looking at an entry off of sort of the support here. It did break through that, but I thought it would hold up. Brought back up anyway off the bottom there. That's a sort of a bullish marker there, buying up into a shooting star, sort of pattern on the candle. And here I'm looking at taking an entry around, what was that, 11.23. I was thinking of getting in there, and I might just speed that up again. So it's popping down, coming down now, and I think I do eventually get filled. So the problem about buying like this is if you don't get filled or it doesn't dip down far enough, you can often miss the trade. But really what I should be doing is waiting, being patient and waiting for it to pull back and then buying in. Yeah, but look here, the spreads on this thing's, you know, that was over 12 cents. So, you know, it was up at 11.28, the ask, and the bid was down at $11.13. So a bit of a wider spread there. And it's sort of like, this is at 5 times speed, so it's sort of slow. It just felt slow, the movement on the stock last night, and the volume just seemed to be a lot lighter. So, and that's probably, you know, why the spreads are a bit wider as well. It's just not as many people trading it, and it was, you know, a bit higher priced now from the other days, and yeah, just lighter volume, so the spreads were a bit wider. And it sort of, you can see it's curling here, starting to make higher lows, higher highs, and then it pushes up, coming up to the VWAP, and I was hoping it would break higher, break over this point here at 11.48, 11.50. It didn't break 11.50, and I was too slow to hit my sell key. And here I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to put a sell order in around the VWAP and just take my profit off the table. This is my first trade, so I just want to lock up a green trade to start with. And it's sort of holding up here and sort of pushing, and I thought, oh, well, maybe we'll just hold it a bit longer and see if it breaks. But then I was like, it doesn't look that good. There's no volume coming in on here. It looks a bit light still. Actually having that red massive candle there, it doesn't look great. That's the 8 o'clock sort of randomness that happens in trade zero. Then I flicked over to WINT, that had popped up and was holding. It had held up here and pushed to make a new high at $2.50. I sort of thought, oh, it's down the VWAP, and I was just seeing if it was going to break VWAP on this candle, but I think it pulls back, and this is where I take yeah, so it pulls back here, and I decided to take a position here at $2.23 again, at 23 recurring thing, buying at 23 cents. Anyway, so here it is. I'm in the trade now. It's pulling down, and I'm still holding, still confident that it'll hold this level. And this is sped up 5 times. So if I come back to here and just play at normal speed, it's thickly traded. Like it's just a bit more thickly traded than I like, and it just seemed to be a bit slow. And obviously the volume profile on down here is, you know, a lot less than when it was pushing higher before on higher volume. So the problem with this trade is that I wanted it to break VWAP so that I would make decent profit on it. But because it was so slow, and it just didn't seem like it had it in it to break at this point. So it's coming up here to 227, 220, 228, you know, 229 just for a moment, and then it pulls back again. And I was just like, there's not enough volume coming into it. It's a bit light, maybe I should get out. So I'm going to speed it back up again. It's a bit slow. And so I thought, oh well, if it pushes back up to 230, I'm just going to take off the table and get out of this trade. So it pushes back up here and drops again and comes all the way back down. And then I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I missed my exit. Maybe it's going to keep, popping down. So I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll sell it at 228. But then I thought, no, I'll just wait for it to see what it does. It's pushed up. I put hit the hotkey to sell, and I got filled at, I think it was 229. But while I was taking that trade, I missed the break on ADTX. So this is probably a mistake that I made. Let's just pause that for a second on that trade. So when I first entered here, I was looking for the break of VWAP, and that was my plan, for it to break VWAP, and I'd take my profit on the break. So it didn't work first off, and then it pulled back, and as it's coming back up here, this is where I should have been in for the entry again, to see if it broke VWAP, or even as it came up through VWAP on volume. That probably would have been a good entry as well. But because I got into a trade in WINT, I missed this trade here, which would have been a much better trade, and there's 40 cents in that trade. So probably a mistake there to go into trade WINT. Could have left that until later, once it had proved that it could break, and stuck with my original plan here with ADTX. The second mistake I made on ADTX is this one here. So if I bring that back just a little bit. So I came back to ADTX from the trade on WINT, and it had broken through the VWAP, gone up to make new highs up to 1190, and I'm looking at it now thinking, oh, it looks like it's got some potential to break up through the higher day at the pre-market. So I jumped in there. I jumped in quickly, and I thought, yeah, this will hopefully push back up to here. And I didn't take my profit there because I was sort of expecting it to pop up here. But now it's not looking so good. But actually it's okay, because it's just pulling back, and it's still showing that it can hold. So I probably got out too soon. I got a bit shaken out of this trade because I thought, oh, maybe it's not going to go. So I didn't sell on the bid. I actually pushed my hotkey to sell on the ask. And why I did that was because I was hoping it would come up and sell at only 7 cents a share. So I only lost 7 cents a share. But I probably should have held it just a little bit longer, and I would have been out up here possibly at 11 or 12. It's coming up hitting 12. I could have been out at just below $12 a share. So that would have been a green trade at least. Not what I was looking for, breaking out through 12.18, but it didn't look like it was going to break 12, and it didn't pull back. So, and I'm again doing something that I shouldn't really be doing. Putting a buy order in down below, looking for the dip. Pretty dangerous, really. What catching a knife's like. You often get cut, and this is a bit risky, this one. So because it had pushed up and I thought maybe it would dip down, but then it slowed down. It just kind of just stalled out and slowed down, and I was like, I'm not sure what it's doing here. So I'll just speed this up again. So it's holding this line, like holding here at the moment, and this is at 5 times speed. So it did break over there. I got back in here thinking, it's broken through $12. You know, it's looking like it'll break through up over and make a new high. So I got back in here possibly a little bit early, but sometimes you don't want to miss it when it's going to break as well. And because it had broken through that level, even though it rejected straight away, you know, sometimes you buy back in at the low and it breaks through on the next candle. It didn't. It started pulling back, which made me a bit nervous, I got to admit. But it's showing strength here, made a new high there on that candle, also made a new low. And it's still pulling back, but I'm holding through this pullback, and it's still holding along this level here. And like this is split up 5 times, and it just felt slow. It just felt like you know, I was, you know, up to my neck in water trying to walk. And also this was a bit of a worry too, because there's a lot of topping tails here on these candles. So it does eventually go, and as soon as it pops over that area there, I was out on that trade. So that put me up to about $54 on the day. Those 3 trades, 4 trades. Had a little loss on the 3rd trade there, but yeah, the other 2 trades other 3 trades were winners, so that was good. Then I'll just check actually, because I can't remember what time did I take that trade? Oh yeah, so I did wait for another 15 minutes before I took my next trade on ADTX. So I'll just fast forward to that. It was around this was a stock that popped up too. KBSX, this popped up, and I saw that, came and had a look, but you know, it pulled back quite a bit. I didn't trust it. I don't like taking these off the first candle. I generally get destroyed on these. So because it had pulled back so far, it looked like it was going to hold, but the pullback on the red candle, I just felt it was too much selling pressure on that, and eventually it did just fail and went all the way back to where it basically came from. But my next trade on ADTX was around this area here, 9.15. Yeah, so I think it's about here. Yeah, it broke up through the VWAP. I could have taken a position here. I probably should have, because it's buying up. I should have taken bought in this pullback here, looking for a push through VWAP, and I would have, you know, that would have been a nice trade. But I bought in on the pullback here after it had broken, looking for a pushback. I wasn't quite sure if it would make the high, so I didn't take it there, but it did push back, and I entered at, what's that, 11, I'll just pause that for a second. What was my entry on this? 1169, and my exit was 1180. So let's speed it up again. So it pushed up here and it broke through that pivot, and I was like, yep, I like that. So I once again sold on the ask, and it pushed back up and filled me on the ask. So I got in early on that candle. It didn't reject straight off that. It did push back. It may have even gone a wee bit higher actually. Yeah, so I was looking at drawing some trend lines on the smooth, but it broke down through here, and I think that was it. I think it pulled back after that. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so it pulled back, and then it actually failed after that. And what time was this? This was coming into the open. So the last trade I took on it was at the open, and this is where I made my last mistake of the day. So at the open, I don't know, I was trying to click on the right stock. It pulled all the way back down to $11. So it's failing here miserably. And I accidentally pushed the market buy order key, and it filled me at 1160. And it pushed up, and I quickly hit my sell on the ask key again, and I got filled at 1180. So I made 20 cents on that trade, and was it 20 cents? No, let's have a look. I can't remember. What was it? 10 cents. No, 11 cents. Yep. So I got filled at 1169, sorry, and for my entry by mistake, hitting the wrong key, and then I filled on the ask at 1180, making 11 cents, and that brought me up to my total of $126. So it was a close call. It was a green mistake, but you know, it worked in the end. Yeah. So that was my trades for today. I was pretty tired, so I didn't stick around too much longer after that trade. I think I watched a bit more of ADTX. Did I? Or what was the other one that I watched? Where's the video? Here it is. Yeah, so I watched a couple of other stocks sort of push. What was that one? That was SPRY. This had big spread, so I wasn't going to trade that. That was, you know, and what's this? This is ELAB, which pushed up as well. That was, that was okay, but they had wider spreads as well. But yeah, just the market conditions last night, I just, maybe it was because I was tired anyway, but I just felt everything was sort of moving slow, and I just wasn't getting dialed in very well on them. So yeah, so that was my day. If we look at my weekly P&L, it's still going up in the right direction. I've made $533.12 so far this week. Every day's been green, which has been great. My P&L curve this month is looking good, and got that nice incline at the end there, so that's looking all good. But yeah, so today was a bit of a grind, just dealing with that choppy action, and you know, WINT was a bit thickly traded for me, just so slow today. So, but you know, still managed to lock in a green day, and just by making those base hits, and you know, even a little help from you know, a mistake, hitting the wrong key. Well, you know, but you know, gave me a little bit of profit, so happy with that. So if you've had, or let me know if you've had any green mistakes, and down in the comments. I've made plenty of red ones. Don't usually make green ones, which is nice for a change. Remember to like and subscribe for more daily recaps, and I'll be back tomorrow. Trade smart, stay disciplined. Hei a popo.